Welcome to offpad.com, episode 4, Bolivia, visiting the beautiful Salar de Uyuni, going down to Lago Colorado, and then on to La Paz.
Turn left onto 5, then take the first right.
As we have experienced so often in the last few days, the GPS units weren't of much help trying to get out of Potosí, and some roadworks with detours along the way didn't help either, so it took us a while to really exit the city. The stretch from Potosí to Uyuni was a beautiful and varied road with magnificent landscapes, small towns, very rural, typically Bolivian for this area. Wir fahren zwischen Potosí und Uyuni heute Morgen. Meistens so zwischen 3. Stretches of this road was well over 4,000 meters, and Karen didn't feel well at all. We assume she doesn't handle the altitude that well, although in previous years we had climbed Kilimanjaro at higher altitudes. Diamox was taken, and we were hoping that soon she'll be better. Spektakuläre Bergketten, Lamas, Kakteen, Schnee oben auf den Bergen, bisschen Eis gesehen, variiert die ganze Zeit. Along this road we passed Porco, Choquilla, Pacataya, Yura, Tica Tica and Pulacayo before we finally arrived at Uyuni.
Hier auf dem Andenhochland, ungefähr 3700 Meter, es ist sehr flach.
When we had the first glimpse of Uyuni and its surroundings, we knew the next few days would be fantastic. In Uyuni, a policeman welcomed us on the local service station, and we managed to negotiate a good price for the diesel. Possibly his girlfriend, his wife, was working there, or he had an interest in this business. Uyuni itself wasn't spectacular, a little bit run down. However, plenty of Toyota Land Cruisers. It seemed like the main tourist vehicle of operators was in fact similar Land Cruisers to what we were driving. So we made our way out of town to the train cemetery.
Also das ist ein Schrottplatz, das ist kein...
This would be our overnight stop in
Gehen wir an
Uyuni.
die Rampe an, das hat Leon geschafft.
As we arrived at the Cementerio de Trenes, we weren't sure whether we should call it a museum or a scrapyard. However, it was very photogenic and we took a while to explore all the different models and wagons.
Hier werden wir wohl heute übernachten, denn in Uyuni gibt es eigentlich nichts anderes.
Since there are no camping facilities in Uyuni itself, we decided to pitch tents here, and as the sun was setting, it was getting bitterly cold. Fortunately, nearby was a shelter which we could use, which during daytime is used as a shop.
Jetzt, wo die Sonne untergeht, wird es richtig kalt.
Uwe tried his hand at driving one of these locomotives, but they wouldn't want to. It was nice to see how the youth of Uyuni is using the area as an exercise and play facility. As you can see from the background, the evening was ice cold, and so was the morning. Crisp but cold.
Restaurant oder sowas in Town gefunden, aber was?
Restaurant?
Hauptsächlich Staubwolken bis jetzt.
After a couple of errands to do some shopping for essential provisions, we were on our way to the Salar. As we were leaving, we spotted a little dentist practice on the right-hand side and were quite happy that nobody needed a dentist at this point in time.
Der Kater kam einer und sprach, dass er diese verkaufen ist. Der wäre so schön. Er hätte es aber auch ein und irgendwie was ist ein ähnliches Modell, aber so einen schön hätte er.
Oh dear. Donne? Salar. Yeah.
Turn right onto the road.
Finally, we arrived at the Salar de Uyuni and were greeted by the Palacio de Sal, a hotel entirely built out of salt bricks.
Ich nehme an, dass...
Driving on this vast expanse of salt is a unique experience. It's almost unbelievable how much salt is deposited in this lake, underneath which a couple of meters of lithium wait to be mined, to be used in the new type of batteries worldwide.
Turn right onto the road.
Das der beste Weg ist. dachten, so gemütlich nebeneinander kann man sonst nirgendwo fahren.
Stimmt natürlich, komm mal her.
Nee, lass es mal.
Mal ein etwas weirdes Foto.
Ohne irgendwas anderes außer dem Salzhorizont.
Salar de Uyuni.
The salt of the salar is absolutely pure, and we didn't hesitate to use it to improve our sandwiches and our cooking while being there.
Wie schmeckt es?
Nach frischem Salz. Finally, we arrived at Isla Incahuasi with its large cacti. From here, one has a magnificent view over the expanse of this almost 11,000 square kilometer salt lake, the biggest salt lake on Earth.
So, du hast nur mit
Ich
dem
habe kein
Ding.
anderes dabei gehabt.
Its depth is around 130 meters, and the altitude of the lake is roughly 3,660 meters altitude. From here we drove another 15 kilometers to the one edge of the lake, where we found a suitable camping spot for the night. All alone, splendid views, clear night skies, allowing us to take some weird and wonderful scenic photos. When the rainwater dries on the lake after the seasonal rains, patterns are visible that are formed during the very icy cold nights through the ice that pushes up.
Was machst du denn da, Bisim?
We took some salt samples along for our daily cooking. It seemed to be absolutely pure.
Schön, ne? Siehst du diese Kristalle hier?
In the morning we once more drove back to Isla Incahuasi to pay our fees and then take the road in a southerly direction towards the lagunas.
Turn left onto 5.
Da ist noch was.
Nein, hier sind auch 3.
Guck, da ist er. Sissa. Oh, das ist Kovaret-Schlucht.
The This region is very close to the Chilean border, so we weren't amazed to find a very remote military base in this desert area.
Jetzt kommen wir durch das Dörfchen Manica auf dem Wege nach San Juan.
Based on what was indicated on our map, we thought San Juan would be a sizable town, but in real terms it was as small as all the other villages which we had passed.
Turn left onto the road, then take the first right. Turn left onto the road, then take the first left. Turn left onto the road, then take the third right.
After we had left Volcan Ollagüe behind us, we approached where we could see on the eastern side Cerro Tomasil and on the western side on the border with Chile the Volcan Ollagüe, which is a stratovolcano of 5,868 meters above sea level. It was in fact the first active one we've seen. Every now and then we would meet up with Bolivian tour operators and their clients. It always pays to meet local operators as they can give very good hints as to where to camp, where to go and what to see.
3930 jetzt.
Das sagt unsere auch.
We were quite keen to reach Laguna Cañapa for the evening. It was getting already fairly late, the sun was drawing water, but we just managed on time to reach our place for the night.
Nee, hier hinter den.
Fahr nicht geradeaus, ne? Das Ding, übrigens dein Ding da vorne. Und schön vorbei.
Just before sunset we managed to take a few photographs and find a suitable parking spot. The wind was howling, but there was nothing we could do about it. We knew this is going to be a cold night. The next morning everything was iced up. Even the flamingos had to trot on the laguna on the ice.
Weniger angenehm. -15 heute Morgen. Alles Wasser ist gefroren, der See ist gefroren und trotzdem von den Farben her ein absolutes Naturschauspiel. Goppies müssen angewärmt werden, wir um Wasser warm zu kriegen, weil das Gas hier oben nicht richtig funktioniert. Wir sind auf über 4200 Meter Höhe.
Due to the altitude, even the gas cookers didn't want to work properly, but we had to be patient to get a hot coffee. After a minus 15 degrees night, Karen did not feel well at all, and she
Hier laufen die Flamingos auf dem Eis.
It remained a mystery to us how the beautiful James Flamigos and other birds could in fact survive this climate and not freeze to death. Going was rough. Roads in very bad condition, challenging our vehicles. On top of it, Karen didn't feel well, so we wanted to reach Laguna Colorada and not camp anywhere else, in order that we could take a room with hopefully some sort of bathroom amenities. The hospitaje was of a low standard, the bathroom not functional, so we had to shower in the neighboring house and pay extra. Here we also met Bernd, a lone motorcyclist who had rested for a day or two as the altitude got to him.
Möchte ich wissen, was wir hier schießen sollen, aber
due to the altitude, it was icy cold and we encountered ice on our way to the geysirs Sol de Mañana, which was our next destination. Along the way we encountered some intrepid cyclists. It must be very exhausting at this altitude, where we were getting towards 5,000 meters and higher. Early morning, the geysirs are spectacular. However, the government plans to use them for geothermal purposes, and this spot may not be open for tourists in future. Karen's condition worsened, but we were no longer sure that this was due to the altitude. Since she didn't keep any fluids inside her body, we started getting worried about her condition. In the background of the Termas de Chalviri, the Laguna del Chalviri and the Salar can be seen.
So, ich habe euch beide eingefangen in eurer Aktion hier.
We then reached one of the most beautiful area in the southern part of Bolivia called the Dali Desert and the Rocas de Dali. Thereafter the roads really became bad and we were wondering whether the Dakar really left some damage.
5 Grad Außentemperatur, starker Wind, fabelhafte Landschaft. Wow.
Finally we arrived at the emerald green Laguna Verde. In the background is Volcan Ollagüe at 5,916 meters, one of the higher ones, and plenty of vicuñas around. Laguna Verde was our turning point and we returned to Laguna Colorada and its hospedaje to spend another night there before proceeding to Uyuni.
Abfahrt von Laguna Colorado. Es ist 8:40 Uhr, 0 Grad.
Early morning we left Laguna Colorado to head back to Uyuni, which is a full day's drive. Karen's condition was getting worse and we were quite keen to find a decent hotel for that night.
Keep right to Via Sucre Potosi. Turn left onto Via Sucre Potosi.
Buen día.
We passed through the towns of Villamari and afterwards through Soniquera on our way to San Cristobal. In San Cristobal, Uwe negotiated a decent price of 6 Bolivianos in place of 8.80 for the diesel. We filled up and proceeded from there. The road from here improved and we made good headway to reach Uyuni towards late afternoon.
Hier links gibt's Parks.
We decided to stay in the Hotel de Girasol, where we could park our vehicles in the yard in the back, and it was quite safe and comfortable. Karen needed a clean bathroom and a good night's sleep so that we could take her to La Paz the next morning and seek medical help.
Heute ist Sonntag. Wir verlassen.
We had heard that In Bolivia, the trucker union and the Bolivian government had a standoff, and there was a threat that on Monday all roadways will be blocked by trucks. So we decided to leave Uyuni early and drive straight through to La Paz. The road between Uyuni and La Paz is a major tarred road, and we reached the capital city without further incident later that afternoon.
Continue on Route National 1, F1.
Along the route we saw some trucks and some marching activities with banners and flags, but we had no hold up getting to La Paz. In La Paz, our challenge would be to find a suitable hotel where we could park our vehicles safely.